Hello everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Movie Canon. We are live, at least I think we're live. I'm Giovanni, and this is my latest episode of the Met Report, a show about movies, entertainment, and television news. So I'm just trying to check here, anyone who's watching live right now, like always, if you guys could let me know if there's any issue with the sound, with the picture, the music's too loud, whatever the case might be. You know, when we're live, there's always technical issues. I had some little bit of technical issues getting started. So we know we already had them today, but thank you so much everyone for watching here today. So again, this is the new episode of the Met Report, and there's a few topics that I'm going to talk about here today. I know some of you guys might be watching this now because of the Spider-Man 2 giveaway physical copy, which I'll be announcing in just a moment here, in just a little bit. But I'll give you guys more details about that a little later. But some of the things that we're going to talk about here today are, let me see here. So the first thing is we have some somewhat news about Scream 7. I guess you can really take it with a grain of salt, but I'll talk about it a little later when it comes to Neve Campbell. The other thing is Exorcist, Believer, the movie that's coming out in October. There's a bit of a change with the release date, so I'll talk about that in just a little bit as well. There's some Hot Toys figures talk that I'll get into in just a moment as well. That includes something from INART. And as I mentioned earlier, we have the Spider-Man 2 giveaway, which we'll talk about a little later as well. And we still have these other giveaways open for the Barbie, Western Barbie Funko Pop giveaway. And then the Ken Funko Pop giveaway. So he's still open. So again, everyone, if you're watching live, let me know if there's any issues with the sound or whatever the case might be. So I just kind of wanted to get things started here. But let me just make sure that the system seems to be working fine, and then we'll get officially started. Okay, everyone, we're going to go and get started here. Looks like everything is working fine. I just checked with my phone. I just checked to see everything seems to be working fine. The sound sounds good. The music sounds good. Let me try the other camera here. Okay, so we have another camera here. The main camera. If it changes to it. There you go. Okay, so then we have this. And then we'll go back there. Okay. So again, we're going to go ahead and get started here. So again, this is the latest episode of the Met Report. I'm Giovanni, and welcome to my channel, The Movie Canon. The first thing that, well, actually, before we do that, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Movie Canon, for future content. and giveaways and so forth. So I didn't actually advertise this stream because I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do specifically and what time. And there was only a certain window that I had this weekend that I could do this. And I know I wanted to talk about certain topics that I did here throughout the week. And then I did mention that there's going to be a Spider-Man 2 PS5 physical copy, a giveaway that I was going to announce today. And for the viewers that are watching live, then your name will be entered an additional time than you normally would. And I did advertise that last week, that if you watch live when I officially announce the giveaway, then your name will be entered twice. Yeah, I didn't advertise it because I wasn't sure when I was going to start it. So there you go. So hopefully some of you guys saw the notification that I started the stream or whatever the case, or on my social media. But there's that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the first topic here. So we have Ghostface here, as you can see here in the background. So Scream 7, there's no official release date yet. The most recent one, Scream 6, came out earlier this year in March, and it was reviewed pretty well, I believe, and most fans did like the movie. And the difference between this Scream 6 movie compared to the other ones is that we don't have Neve Campbell, so we don't have Sidney Prescott as the lead, or I guess she hasn't really been the lead in a while, but she was not in this movie at all. So so there was some question about, why didn't she return to Scream? She's the face of Scream, no pun intended, but she was not going to be in Scream 6. And throughout the years, whenever there's like a certain actor or whatever the case that they say they're not going to be in something, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, because sometimes maybe they're saying they're not going to be in it, but they're actually in it, and there's some kind of a surprise thing. I don't know why they would do that for Sidney Prescott specifically, but that actually was true. So she was not in Scream 6. So what I saw recently from Screen Rant is that there's a report here that there's the possibility that Neve Campbell could actually return to Scream, specifically, the new Scream 7 movie. So hopefully you guys can see me here as I share my screen. So let me just double check that real quick here. But so Scream, big franchise, big horror franchise, and we didn't have Neve Campbell or Sidney Prescott in Scream 6. So this information is really coming from mainly more like speculation. There's nothing official here, because mainly there's still the strike, the actor strike, and the writer strike as well, but the actor strike specifically. So we may not know this for sure until after the strike is over. But the report that's coming from Screen Rant is this is what they're saying here. It says Neve Campbell's return as Sidney Prescott in Scream 7 is way more of a possibility now that it has been announced that she won't be returning to a hit TV show. Scream 6 marked the first installment in the horror franchise that didn't include Sidney, which is what I mentioned earlier, despite being the central target of Ghostface and Wes Craven's original Scream trilogy. Campbell's return as Sidney in Scream 4 and 2022's Scream requel was crucial for the plot. Sidney was initially supposed to be involved in Scream 6, but a pay dispute, I should say, with Paramount Pictures prevented Campbell's role a reprisal. So look, I mean, this was already in the news before that, it was because Neve Campbell had a dispute with the studio, and maybe she wanted more money for her role. I don't know what the details are. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe just didn't want to pay her that much for a larger role. I mean, who knows? Who knows, right? But we did see a Scream movie without Sidney Prescott, and it was fine, right? So I mean, I liked the movie just fine. I know it is in another setting. That movie was set in New York, and it looks like this thing's loading pretty bad here. So I'll change this. So So yeah, so we've seen a Scream movie without Neve Campbell, so she may come back. So it looks like there's some availability now that Neve Campbell might actually return. Now that in itself doesn't mean that because she's free that she's gonna, you know, necessarily go back to Scream, but they did leave it open in Scream 6 that she you know, she wasn't killed off, because you know, we've seen some other movies in the past that the lead character doesn't make an appearance in some sequel or whatever, or prequel or whatever, and they kind of well, I guess it would be a sequel, but they kill the character off because the studios or the writers was just like, well, we're not gonna see this character again, so let's just kill them off or whatever. This is not the case when it comes to Scream, because in Scream 6 they do reference Sidney Prescott. They said that she's away or in a safe location, or whatever the case might be. So they kind of left it open, and I kind of thought so when I saw the movie that they were talking about that, when they did that reference of Sidney Prescott. I was like, oh, they're leaving it a little open, or they're leaving it open so that she can come back somehow. So I think that was pretty cool there. So because now we could possibly have her come back. Now, to what capacity will she come back? Have no idea. We don't know much about the movie. The only thing that I guess we could really confirm or say that we have is the core four. The core four from Scream 5 and Scream 6. So spoiler alert to the ones who haven't seen Scream 6. But these four characters survive Scream 6, so they're known as the core four. So we could expect them to make a return in Scream 7, because they're kind of having like their own trilogy on their own with these two leads, with Jenny Ortega, and I always forget the main lead of Scream, but she's we're expecting her to come back, so everyone's expecting for a trilogy of these characters with Scream 7, and so we're expecting them. But then we have, obviously, as I mentioned, the issue with Neve Campbell. So again, this is not anything official. She may still not appear in Scream 7, but it looks like there's a bit of a possibility there that she might return. So all those big fans of Scream and Sidney Prescott and so forth. So there you go for Scream 7. Okay, so then the next thing here is something that's kind of unexpected. So I mentioned earlier that we have Exorcist Believer, so the sequel to the Exorcist movies that came out in the 70s, and then the sequels came out in the 80s or so forth. So we have the creators or the filmmakers who made the Halloween reboot, or I guess it is kind of like a sequel reboot in a way. Those filmmakers are also doing The Exorcist. So The Exorcist, and I mentioned this before many times on my channel, you know, The Exorcist is my favorite horror movie of all time. I think it's the scariest movie of all time, and I'm going based on when I first saw the movie, which I was a child. And I also mentioned this last time that if you watch The Exorcist now, or maybe you're like a Gen Zer, someone who's been exposed to other horror movies before this Exorcist movie that came out in the 70s, and you watch it now, then you may not think it's that scary. You know, it is what it is, but it did kind of lead or open all these doors for all these other horror movies, and especially all those Exorcist movies that have been out for the last like decades or so or whatever. So I still contend that the first Exorcist movie from 1973 with Ellen Burstyn, she's actually returning to this, is the best horror movie ever. So we'll just leave it at that for now. Anyways, so Exorcist Believer scheduled to come out October 13th. And again, I mentioned this last week because I did a fall 2023 movie preview. So The Exorcist Believers was scheduled to come out October 13th. And so something happened regarding that, because we have Taylor Swift the Eras Tour. Now, all of you Taylor Swift fans, I don't know if Eras, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, or if I'm supposed to pronounce it differently. I'll say Eras Tour or Eras Tour. I don't think they can really do much with that, with pronouncing it, right? So I'll say the Eras Tour, the Eras Tour. So we have this theatrical release that's coming out the same day as Exorcist Believer. So the concert, I don't know if this is based on just one particular concert or they recorded several of them based on the name, the Eras Tour. I'm assuming it's probably multiple ones, but it's gonna come out in theaters. I never even heard that they were gonna do this at all. It was kind of like a last minute thing. At least I didn't know about it at all. And they're dropping it in theaters on October 13th, and it's already breaking some records, some crazy records, which I'll go into in just a bit here. But what I found specifically interesting is that that's the same day that The Exorcist Believer comes out. So most people seem to be more interested in Taylor Swift based on those record sales that I saw. But this is what Jason Blum, who is the runner or the producer or the leader, the one who's actually running all this, the Blumhouse Pictures. So he actually tweeted this. So we have here, "Look what you made me do. The Exorcist Believer moves to October 6, 2023.
Fuck this.
So that's pretty much what Jason Blumhouse did.
Look at this.
Father, think of the child.
So he got out of there. He was not going to compete with Taylor Swift. So I'm going to go into and look at the numbers here. I'm going to go into a news article in just a bit here to show you some of those crazy numbers that we're getting with this Taylor Swift Eras Tour. So let me see here. Hold on a sec. Hopefully you guys can see the screen. Let me know, guys, if you can't see the screen, because I know there was an issue before. But this is from Variety. So we have here Taylor Swift Eras Tour film earns a record breaking $26 million in pre-sales at AMC theaters. That's a lot, especially for it's just a lot in general. Let me continue reading here. It says her Eras Tour concert, a film which opens theatrically on October 13th, has already earned a massive $26 million in pre-sale tickets at AMC theaters, which is what I just mentioned. It set a single-day ticket sale record for AMC, besting the benchmark previously held by Spider-Man No Way Home, which made $16.9 million, less than 3 hours after tickets went on sale. And according to the cinema chain, this figure is only for pre-sales at AMC, so it's not even talking about the other theaters like Cinemark and any other chain. So it says here, the figure is only for pre-sales at AMC, meaning the actual number of tickets sold is much higher. AMC is the world's biggest theater chain and the film's official distributor, but the Eras Tour concert film is also playing at rival circuits like Regal and Cinemark, as well as independent locations. So who knows how many ticket sales overall they've already had or already sold, how many tickets they already sold for this. Fandango says pre-sales rank among blockbusters like Avengers Endgame, Star Wars The Force Awakens, and Spider-Man No Way Home at similar points in their sales cycle. So that's kind of crazy. I would never expect this at all. I wouldn't expect a Taylor Swift concert theatrical release. Like, I know she's huge as far as popularity. She's a big star. Throughout the summer, I've been reading things like Taylor Swift is single-handedly helping the economy of local cities whenever she's in town. You know, the hotels, restaurants. She is changing things financially for whatever town she is doing a concert in. And now people who didn't get a chance, or even people who probably already watched it live, they bought tickets to watch Taylor Swift The Eras Tour in theaters on October 13th. So I don't think, and I could be wrong about this, I don't necessarily think that the demographic who like Taylor Swift were gonna rush to go see The Exorcist Believer, but Jason Blum was scared enough. He was scared enough that,
Fuck this.
yeah, he was not gonna deal with that.
Just see this. Look at this.
Not that kind of competition. So smart guy. So now Exorcist Believer is coming out on October 6th, so a week early, which I never thought I would be talking about Taylor Swift on my channel, but there you go. Okay, so I'm going to move on to something else here. Okay, so we already talked about Neve Campbell possibly coming back in Scream 7. We just talked about The Exorcist move due to Taylor Swift's big starness of a regular thing. I'll probably say this in the Met Report. I added a segment called Figures Talk. Talk about 6-scale figures, usually hot toys, lately some INART or whatever the case might be, MANDO. Some of these characters come from movies. A lot of them come from movies and TV. So this Figures Talk segment is from Star Wars, The Mandalorian, season 3. So the Praetorian. Let me look into that real quick here. Hold on a sec. So these were announced from Hot Toys. And if you're a big Star Wars fan, you know that these guards pop up. They don't look like this, but they pop up. They've popped up in, Star Wars Return of the Jedi, the Royal Guards, The Last Jedi, which a lot of people say that those guards look like crabs. And then we got these guards from Mandalorian season 3, so Moff Gideon's guards. So they announced these individually, right? So they're the same, but you can move them around, or you can have them use different weapons, or whatever the case may be. So they announced them, and here's an image here of all 3 of them. So if you can buy them, you can buy 3 of them like this. Most of the time it's usually like 2 or 3 that we see anyways. Maybe I can read it here. Imperial Praetorian Guards. The Praetorian part is the part that I always have trouble mispronouncing, or I forget how to say it. But these Imperial Praetorian Guards were the ones that are announced season 3 Mandalorian. And there's actually not that many season 3 Mandalorian figures that have been announced. I don't know if it's something to do with the reception. People didn't really care for the newest season. I thought it was okay, but it was definitely by far the weakest season of the Mandalorian. But these characters, these guards I've always thought they were cool looking, and I like that they do kind of look a little different. Like these right here, they have the helmets that kind of look like Mandalorian helmets, so that's kind of how you know that it's a different type of guard. It's not the royal guard that Palpatine had, and then the other guards, I forgot what those are called, but those guards that guarded Snoke, and then these guys here. So we got that. And there's also, here's an image of what it always comes with. It always comes with a bunch of little hands and weapons. So this is all what you get here if you want this Imperial Praetorian Guard. You can buy 1, 2, 3, or whatever the case, if you have the space for it, if you want to pay for it. So let's get into the price. So for one Imperial Praetorian Guard, it's $245, expected to ship July to December of 2024. And this is all, of course, from Sideshow, because I always talk about the Sideshow aspect of it, because they're the biggest distributor in the US. Is the one that I rely on, so that's why you use Sideshow. I'm not sponsored by them, but there you go. So Hot Toys also announced something that shouldn't have been surprising, but it kind of was surprising to me. Is this character here? What is it? Monkey D. Luffy or Luffy? I don't know how you pronounce the last name. From One Piece. So he was announced, I think it was Friday morning, I believe. So let me try to get some other images because I only have this one picture of him. So let me see here. Hold on a second. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. But again, this is from One Piece. Now, this IP comes from what is it called? Manga? I think it's called manga. And then an anime. And Netflix decided that they're going to adapt One Piece. And it's now on Netflix. It came out on August 31st. So Hot Toys, that's when they decided to announce it, which makes sense. Makes perfect business sense, right? So that's One Piece, Monkey D. Luffy. And let me see if I can get some other images here. Okay, so I guess he has some kind of like a Fantastic Four thing. And just so I mentioned this so that you guys obviously know, I've never read the manga or never watched the anime. When they did announce this, I was kind of curious. I was like, well, I have Netflix, so let me just check it out, see how it is. And I did try watching it. I started playing episode 1 of One Piece, and I got to like 40 minutes in. And no, this is not a show for me. It is not a show for me. I can see the appeal, especially for like younger people to like One Piece, or if you're a big fan of the anime. Although maybe because you're such a big of anime, maybe you won't like this Netflix version. So I don't know. I'm curious to know if you were a huge fan of both, let's say the manga and the anime. I'm curious to know if you actually like this Netflix live action series. So this particular Hot Toy figure is from the Netflix series. So there's another image here. Here's another one here too. Now it has the joints here, which I don't like. I personally don't like. It doesn't really make it look like a Hot Toy to me when it has all these joints or whatever. But because when you have a Hot Toy, it should look as realistic as possible. And not, I know that there's some Hot Toys that have these joints here, but a lot of them, or I'll say most of them, don't. So I don't like that, but I mean, I'm not a big fan. I don't care for the AP anyway. So there's that. There's another image here of both of this other character, which I'll get into in just a bit. So I think that's it for the Luffy character. And then there's this other character that was announced as well. And again, I don't know this character that much. The 40 minutes that I watched of the first episode, I did actually see him. So I was actually able to actually see who he is and what he does or whatever. Like I said, I didn't get into the show, so I won't continue watching it. I didn't finish watching the first episode. But this character, his name is Noah Zoro. I'm probably mispronouncing all this very badly. So he was also announced at the same time, like within minutes, if I remember that correctly. And let me go back to the other page so you can see the other images of this particular character. Okay, so just hold on a bit here. I'm trying to find him, but I can't find him now. So hold on a sec. Okay. Hold on a moment. I just accidentally clicked the wrong button here. Okay, so I mean, like this character is like one of those, like he's like the character that's gonna do all these fighting cool moves and everything. Like I said, I saw part of the first episode, but you know, it's not gonna be my thing. But I could see the appealing for younger people or just in general, I suppose. But let me try to find the image of this. Why isn't it popping up anywhere? Oh, here it is. Okay, so got here, come back here. Okay, so wait, no, not this one. Okay, so let me go back here again so you guys can see the image, or the full image of the other figures if you are interested in this. Okay, so again, this is One Piece, Roronoa Zoro. I'm probably mispronouncing this, so sorry if some of you guys who are watching this who are big fans of One Piece. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm just going to read it here. Roronoa Zoro. So he was announced as well. Here's another image here with a few swords. So I mean, the character itself, he looks pretty cool, you know. Like I said, I'm not familiar with this IP. I'm not familiar with the story or anything. Just what I got from the first 40 minutes that I watched. But I know One Piece is very popular. A lot of people do like this IP. And like I said, I'm curious to see how many of you guys who like the manga and then the actual hold on, I'm trying to see if you guys can see this. Okay, hold on a sec. Okay, so it looks like you could see me. Okay, you could see it. Okay. All right. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I thought maybe I lost the screen. Okay, so that's Roronoa Zoro. And let me see if there's any photos or any pictures of this character. One Piece. There you go. Yeah, so I'm not gonna buy these, as I'm sure you guys already figured out. I'm not gonna buy any of these One Piece figures. But as far as the price, so if you guys want to know how much these are, let me get to that. Okay, so we have the Monkey Luffy or Luffy, a character, $275. If you want him, Hot Toys. This is from Sideshow, expected to ship July through December of 2024. Okay, so if you want the other guy, Roronoa Zoro, also $275. Expected to ship between July and December of 2024. So that's on Sideshow. So like I said, I tried to see what was the appeal. So I'll just watch the first episode, and I got into the first 40 minutes, and yeah, not for me. Okay, so the next one here. Now, I think that's it for the announcements. But now we have the Book of Boba Fett. The release. So he was announced, I think, a while ago, maybe last year or something. So he was announced, and he is now released. So whoever pre-ordered this particular Book of Boba Fett, or this particular Boba Fett, I should say, he is about to be shipped to your home. So I'll give you some other images here, if I can get there, because there's a bit of a tease in some of those photos when it comes to the Boba Fett from the Book of Boba Fett. Something that has been stirring around the 6-scale community. So let me get the images here, because I only have this one image here. So let's see. Okay, so we have this other image of Boba Fett. Now, this is again from the series, so his armor and his gear, everything looks much cleaner and it's newer. You know, the other ones that he's had, they're damaged and weathered and so forth, which will probably be cooler looking. But this one looks nicer, so it's nicer looking. So, but like I said, it's not weathered. It's not well, the helmet is still kind of damaged, because that's just kind of like a iconic thing for Boba Fett. So of course you have to have that. So this is an image here, and here's another one here with a Fennec, and then she looks really good in this Hot Toy version. Another image here with the rocket and so forth. Another image here with the flamethrower. And then another shot here with Mando. So there's a shitload of Boba Fett's Hot Toys, or just figures in general, but just sticking to Hot Toys. There's a lot of figures of Boba Fett, like a shitload. So they decided to make this one. I mean, I guess technically it is a little different because, like I said, it's the newer gear, the newer armor, newer, cleaner, and so forth. And here's an image of Boba Fett with Cad Bane. Cad Bane was like really on demand. Really on demand. Sold out on sideshow. And actually, this I think you can still put them on waitlists. Both of these characters, this version of Boba Fett and Cad Bane. And here's another image of him with Mando. Another one here. Another one of him sitting on the throne, which I believe the Hot Toys throne, I believe it comes with the figure. I'm not entirely sure, but another image here. Another one here. And another one. Another one. Okay, so are we going back in circles? There wasn't, no, actually no. So there's another one that I want to show you. Here's another one, little bit. You can see a little bit of Cad Bane here. Another one here. More here. Trying to get to that one image. Oh, here it is. Okay, here it is. Okay, so this is the one that everyone was focusing on. This particular shot or particular photo. So this is the figure. The Book of Boba Fett. And then you see a little bit of Cad Bane there in the corner. And then he is riding the Rancor. So there's a lot of speculation about this because, you know, 6-scale community. I know Rancor has a lot of fans. And can you even see? Let me see if I can scroll this up. If you can even see. Well, actually, you may not even be able to see much of it because you can see my little video image there. But he's riding. You can tell that he's riding something. There's not much on there. You can barely see, but we all know it's the Rancor because we've seen the series. So he's riding this Rancor, whatever. And it is unknown if they're actually going to sell it. Because, you know, Hot Toys, and I mentioned this before, Hot Toys likes to tease and then actually not deliver. They just tease and show, like, you know, here's what we can do. We made this, but we're not ever going to sell it. I don't know what the thought process is. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to test the waters and see, like, what kind of reaction people get. And then depending on that reaction, then they'll actually go ahead and try to sell it or make it in a, you know, a mass production of it. But Rancor, if they were to actually announce this, I know a lot of fans in the 6-scale community will go crazy about this Rancor. And I'm sure he's going to be massive. And he's probably going to be like 700 plus if they decide to actually do that. So that was it when it comes to the Book of Boba Fett. I don't know if there's any other photos. I think these are still ones I haven't showed you guys. Yeah, so I mean, the figure itself looks cool. Now, one of the bad things, if you wanted to get, let's say that there's only one Boba Fett that you can ever get. I don't think this will be one that you would want to get because, like I said, he doesn't have the traditional look. This is the newer Boba Fett. And then the other thing is that there's no head sculpt. So you don't actually have his head, the actor's face, and the other ones do. So that's kind of a con there. All right, so let me see if there's any other photos. Okay, so I think that might be it for the, at least the Hot Toys figures talk. So let me go back here real quick. Okay, so then the other thing, and I mentioned this as well before, is that, you know, Hot Toys has some competition now. There's a company called INART. So INART is another company that does 1/6 scale. And one of the announcements was Pennywise. So Pennywise, the clown. So they've announced him. I don't know how long ago it was that they announced him, but they just announced the release. So he's about to be sent to you if you pre-ordered him. So that's Pennywise from the It movies with Bill Skarsgård. And I'm a big fan of Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise. I do have the Pennywise Hot Toys version. I do have him and I do like him. And I can't wait to display him in my Halloween decor and stuff like that. This one is an INART, as I mentioned here, and it's debatable, you know. I mean, I would say that this one is better. This INART is better than the Hot Toys version, but it is a little different. You know, this one has more, I think it has more accessories, so it's just higher quality from what we can tell so far, and it's also a lot more expensive. So here's another image of this INART Pennywise that was just recently announced. And I'm gonna go to the website because there's a lot more images there of Pennywise. But he was released and he's out of stock. I'm on the website now. I'm not sharing the screen yet, but let me just get there real quick here, and then I'll do that. Okay, so you should be able to see the screen of my laptop, so you should be able to see it that I'm on the website, INART's website. And then we have Pennywise, a 6-scale collectible figure. I believe he runs for like between $400 and $600, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let me see if I can zoom in here. So this is another image of the INART Pennywise. It's another one here with the stage in the back. So we have the dancing clown, Pennywise, the dancing clown, and we have this shot, which is very cool. I like this. There's a bit of an issue with the balloon when it comes to the Hot Toys version, because like I said, I have the Pennywise from Hot Toys, and the balloon, I kind of have to use both arms and hands for it to really like stay. And I wonder if it's similar to that or not, but based on this photo, it looks like you can just use it with just one hand or one finger technically. This looks really cool. I like this. There is not this specific look of Pennywise in the Hot Toys version, but there is like a creepy with all the teeth version of the head sculpt on the Hot Toys version, but they don't have this one, so I don't have this one for the Hot Toys. This is the INART did this version here, which looks cool, so I like this. And then we have this shot right here, which looks really cool too. And then a little bit more of the fabric of the costume. Now the costume in the Hot Toys version is really cool too. I do like the fabric there. It looks legit. It looks quality. Here's another one here, another one right here, and there's one where he's like sitting down, which I like because it looks kind of creepy. We'll get to that in a bit here. So again, everyone, if you're just joining in, so I'm just showing you some images of the INART Pennywise that was recently released, and it's out of stock on the website. I don't know where else you can get Pennywise INART, but the website itself, like if you want to actually get them directly from INART, it's out of stock already, and I think it's been out of stock. But like I said, this is not a cheap figure. It's more than the Hot Toys. This one I think runs between $400 and $600. I was trying to find out what the cost was, but I couldn't really. Oh, here it is. Here's the one that I was talking about, the one where he's like sitting down. He looks kind of creepy to me because kind of looks like a little kid, like just sitting, but then you can like, he's like glaring at you with all this crazy makeup and crazy clown look. I like this position or this stance here. I'm gonna see if I can try to do that with mine, with the Hot Toys one. Hopefully I'm able to do that. So So there you go. So that's going back to that one. And let me go back to some other ones here. So again, this was the Pennywise release, right? So the other thing that I wanted to do is I want to go look at an overview as to what INART has done. Obviously, they don't have that many figures because I think they started not that long ago. So there's not that many figures like Hot Toys. Like Hot Toys has like, I don't know, 60, 70, 80 figures a year. So INART is just beginning. I think they are part of another company. I think it's Queen Studios, I believe. And I think they make statues. So they don't have as many 6-scale figures. So I just kind of wanted to present them here. So they have Lord of the Rings. And what I've noticed when it comes to the INART 6-scale figures is I see a lot of Warner Brothers IP here or properties. Because Lord of the Rings is New Line Cinema, which is part of Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers owns New Line Cinema. So Lord of the Rings is a New Line Cinema movie. And then Pennywise is from It, which is Warner Brothers movie. So I don't know if they have some kind of a licensing deal that they just pumping out a bunch of Warner Brothers licensed characters or whatever. But we have here Aragorn, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So he looks legit. He looks good. I'm not a huge fan of Lord of the Rings like other things. I'm more of a Star Wars fan. I'm more of Marvel or DC fan. I do like Lord of the Rings, but I'm not as a huge fan as other people. I can recognize the quality in the movies, and I can recognize the storytelling in Lord of the Rings, but it's just not one of those movies that I want to keep rewatching or I want to watch annually. It's not one of those type of movies for me. But this character here, Aragorn, the king, this looks good. He looks very lifelike, and he's out of stock as well, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't cheap. So they may sell him somewhere else, second market or whatever, or maybe a comic book store may have him. I have no idea. Actually, I don't even think he's even released yet. Yeah, I don't think he's released. I think the only ones that INART has released is Joker and Pennywise, and it's Gandalf. Gandalf is the one that was recently released, which I'm going to get to in just a bit. So that's Aragorn, Lord of the Rings, INART. If you're a big Lord of the Rings fan, here's a top quality 6-scale figure here. And then it comes with all these accessories. All right. So let's move on to another one. So let's stick to Lord of the Rings. So let me find the Gandalf. The Gandalf was just recently released, like last week, I think. So Gandalf the Grey 6-scale collectible figure. And I think he's like $500, $600. I could be wrong, but I know these figures are more expensive than the Hot Toys generally. So he looks like Ian McKellen. Looks really, really good here. He has a staff. Very good looking figure here. Very lifelike, like I mentioned. You can totally see the quality here. Yeah, so not a cheap figure for sure. And then it has this little accessories here, and he has a book, the book here, and I think I saw it before where you can actually open the book, and I think it has like different kind of pages, so it looks like a legit tiny book, which is insane. This is Gandalf here, the base. So it looks cool. It looks cool. I mean, I'm not willing to spend $500, $600 for a Lord of the Rings character personally, but there might be some out there, but it is released. Like I said, it's not available on the website anymore, so you actually have to hunt for him. But yeah, so we have the Lord of the Rings Gandalf. Okay, I think we already went to this again. Okay, so I think that was it for the Lord of the Rings. So they have some other ones here from INART. think there's just a few more here. Let's go into the Batman one, the Robert Pattinson Batman one. Okay, so actually, let me go back here again. I want to see if there's a price. I think this one's also sold out. It might be out of stock as well. So let me see. $00. Okay, so it's sold out. It's out of stock. Okay, so we have the Robert Pattinson Batman 6-scale collectible figure. There is the Hot Toys version, which I've pre-ordered a while ago. It's supposed to arrive like later this year or maybe next year. So, I mean, he looks really lifelike too as well. Very detailed. They also have a Bruce Wayne one. I don't know if it's... I think I've seen that it's separate, that you can buy it separate. Oh, and then there's the Bat Signal. Now, Hot Toys has the Bat Signal as well. If you get the... like the super set, deluxe or whatever. So, Robert Pattinson. This is the INART. Bruce Wayne. Looks good. But I think this was like $300, $400, $500. Or it has a little like laptop there, which I know the Hot Toys one doesn't have, if I'm not mistaken. So these look really, really cool. Very lifelike. Okay, so let's move on to another one. I think there's maybe a couple more left here. Because I don't usually talk about INART because they don't have that many figures and I don't own any of them. And they're more expensive, so that's why I usually don't. Now, if they were to release like let's say INART does like a Matrix one, like they announced a Neo or a Trinity or the twins from the Matrix Reloaded, because I'm a huge fan of the Matrix, then I'll probably go on board, because I don't know, I don't think Hot Toys is going to do that, since they're sticking on to Warner Brothers. You know, Matrix is a Warner Brothers picture. So let's get into the first one here, Joker. So this one's been out for a while, and this one's been seen because this was I believe this was the first one. So the Heath Ledger Joker, and Hot Toys just recently announced their another version of Heath Ledger Joker with the artisan with the rooted hair, and like this one too. INART was doing the rooted hair and stuff like that, like especially with this Joker one. And I think I don't know if they have like a sculpted hair one, and if I'm not mistaken, I think when you get the Joker, it's a set of two. I don't think you can get them separately, so that's why it kind of goes. The cost ends up being like $1,000, and then after shipping, sometimes up to $1,300, and so forth. So, but I mean, it looks cool. It definitely looks cool. So I think maybe because of the demand of the Hot Toys version of the artisan Joker, a lot of people already had him. This INART version. Yeah, I mean, he looks really good. Definitely looks really, really good. So, I like this shot here because I remember this from, I think it was one of the posters of The Dark Knight. One of the first teaser posters. It was kind of a shot like that. So, I like that. But alright, so I think that's it for the figures talk, if I'm not mistaken. And actually, I think that's all the topics that I had today. Let me just double check. So, already talked about Scream 7. Already talked about what the Taylor Swift thing and the Exorcist Believer moving, the Hot Toys announcements, the Hot Toys release of Book of Boba Fett, the INART stuff, and we're towards the end here. So let me just go back here. Okay, so we still have this Barbie giveaway. Right, so this Funko Pop giveaway, this Barbie giveaway is still open. I'm going to announce the winner soon, like in the next couple weeks or so. And then there's the Ken Western Ken Funko Pop. That giveaway is also still open. So go to the Instagram page at the Movie Canon for more details as to how to enter. And also, I'm going to officially announce the Spider-Man 2 PS5 physical copy giveaway. So I'm announcing it. So the people who are watching live right now, you get to be the first people to enter. So if you're watching live now, I'm going to give you a code in just a bit so you can have your name entered one additional time than you normally would, right? So there's the must be a subscriber to the Movie Canon YouTube channel or Instagram follower of the Movie Canon. So that gets you your name entered once. If you have both, if you are a subscriber to the YouTube channel and you're following the Instagram page, so that's your name is entered twice. So definitely do both. Why not? Subscribe to the channel, follow the Instagram page for future content and future giveaways. And then there's this one, obviously. And then if you're watching live, I'm also going to give you a code so that you can enter a third time, assuming you did all the other two, right? There's also other ways that you can enter your name even more times, but you would have to go to the Instagram page for those details. Now, I'm announcing it here on this live stream. I will also post the official announcement on Instagram as well, and then the rest of the people who didn't watch this live, and then can enter, and there'll be a lot more detailed instructions there as well. So this is again the Spider-Man 2 PS5 physical copy game. So again, this is a physical copy. So if you end up being the winner, I'm not going to be able to send you the digital copy or anything like that. It's going to be a physical copy. I would mail it to you, and then you must have a mailing address within the United States. All those details are going to be in the Instagram post as well. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, hold on a sec. Okay, so it's officially open. So the Spider-Man 2 PS5 physical copy giveaway is now open. I do need a minimum entries required. That wasn't the problem last time when I did the Hogwarts Legacy and the Jedi Survivor giveaway. I didn't have an issue getting the minimum requirements. It's usually like 100 entries that I'll need, because if I only have like 5 people, you know, not that this will be the case with this, but let's say I only get like 5 people who enter, I'm not going to give away this video game, this big giveaway and choose among 5 people. So I need to have like at least 100. Like I said, it wasn't an issue with Hogwarts Legacy or Jedi Survivors. So I'm just a little what do you call it? Caveat, I guess, that once I get 100 entries, then it'll be officially activated. But it is open. The giveaway is open. And if you're watching live, the hashtag is Miles Morales the Movie Canon. So if you're watching live now, put in the chat, the live chat section, hashtag Miles Morales the Movie Canon, so that your name will be officially entered once for this specific live stream. If you're a subscriber to the Movie Canon, a YouTube channel, then your name will be entered a second time. If you're following the Instagram page, a third time. Now, when I post the official announcement on Instagram, there's some details as to how, and the people who have done giveaways on my channel know what it is that you do, but you comment, I'm a subscriber and a follower, or I'm just a subscriber, or I'm just a follower, or whatever. So then you put that in there. So we have Matthew, who says hashtag Miles Morales the Movie Canon. Okay, so that's his hashtag. There is his whatever hat in the ring, I guess. But Matthew, you're part of the Movie Canon, so yeah. Not sure about that. But anyways, so I'll leave this little open just a few more minutes. I mean, if there isn't any during the live stream that are gonna, put the little hashtag thing, then It is what it is, but it'll be open soon on Instagram as well, and then you can enter through other means or whatever. So again, that's Spider-Man 2 physical copy PS5 giveaway. So the winner is expected to be announced within a day or two or around there from the release. So this game is going to come out on October 20th. So I'm planning on maybe doing a live stream on October 21st, which is a Saturday, and announce the winner then. I'm still debating if I should have the winner selected by following the other stuff that I already mentioned, but also watching live. So I may have something like that where you can only win if you do all these steps and also watch live, so that I can actually choose you live in the chat and say you were selected here, and then I'll check if you're a follower or subscriber or whatever, and then you can confirm if you have an address in the US, and then I may do that. I haven't decided how I'm going to do that, but I may do that, just so you're aware. If not, I'll just do the regular way that I usually do it. But here it is, open Spider-Man 2 PS5 physical copy giveaway. So it has opened. Okay, so let me see if there's anything else that I wanted to add here before we close this new episode of the Met Report. Again, subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Movie Canon, if you haven't done so already, for future content, future giveaways. I'm doing a lot of planning on doing a lot of Halloween, like horror stuff in October, late September, and so forth. So keep an eye out for that. And obviously I have this giveaway now open, this Spider-Man 2, and I do have the other two giveaways open, the Barbie and Ken. So I think that's it, everyone. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. For the ones who watched live, if you watched after the fact, thank you so much as well. And I'll be posting the giveaway details on Instagram soon, either today or tomorrow. And I'll see you guys next time.